Send Help was the first movie in one of my double feature days back in January. I wanted to get some movie watching out of the way before another snowstorm hit our area, and I almost missed the beginning trying to get out of my icy driveway, a leftover of an ice storm the previous weekend. So I went in a little frazzled. And unfortunately, this one didn't work for me the way I hoped it would. The film follows Linda and Bradley, two very different co-workers, well, he's her boss, who end up in a survival situation after a chaotic flight goes wrong. Stranded and forced to rely on each other, their clashing personalities quickly turn the situation into something tense, messy, and often darkly comedic. This leans heavily into Raimi's signature style. Very uncomfortable, awkward comedy mixed with gross-out horror. If you've seen Drag Me to Hell, you'll recognize that same kind of energy here. There are moments designed to make you squirm, whether it's social awkwardness or just outright nastiness with things like blood, vomit, that kind of stuff. Linda and Bradley aren't particularly likable in general. Linda is very mousy and socially awkward. She doesn't really fit in. She's kind of unprofessional. There are references to her eating smelly food or just not being very self-aware. Bradley, on the other hand, comes off as egotistical in his position as head of the company, but he has these quirks that at least make him more engaging to watch. As the movie goes on, however, something kind of strange happens. I found myself disliking Linda more and more to the point where I was actually rooting against her and rooting for Bradley to get away from her while they were stranded on the island. And that shift in audience alignment would be fine if the movie actually did something satisfying with it. On top of that, there are a handful of logic issues that pulled me out. You've got characters making decisions that don't make sense, moments that feel very obviously set up just to push the plot forward, and a few details that don't really track. There's also some animal CGI in here that I could have done without. But the biggest problem is the ending. It gave me the same frustration I had with Drag Me to Hell, where the outcome just doesn't feel deserved. And when a movie gets to the point where I'm actively rooting against the protagonist, but there's no payoff for that, it really grates on me. Which is a shame because the performances are actually really solid. Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien both do a great job with what they're given. This really comes down to the writing and the way the story plays out. So overall, Send Help has some strong performances and definitely leans into Raimi's style, but between the character trajectory, the logic issues, and especially that ending, this one just didn't work for me. Send Help is available for rental or purchase on various streaming platforms.